What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another draft video here on the Lords of Limited channel. My name is Ethan, also known as Lord Tupperware. Today we're going to be diving into one of the last days that Vintage Cube will be available. So we're doing a Vintage Cube draft here today. And before we dive into the Cube draft, I want to go ahead and remind folks to please hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up button, leave a comment in the comment section. All of that helps to grow our channel. We really, really appreciate it. So before the draft starts, I want to just throw out that I draft Vintage Cube a little differently. I sort of outlined this in an article that I wrote a few months ago, but I prefer to avoid blue, which I know is sort of heresy in the Vintage Cube community, but I find that it's overdrafted enough that I like to sort of bias myself against it, and instead I like to draft this sort of Jund based deck that's a lot of value cards, that's sort of low curve, that has a lot of fetch land synergy, or hopefully maybe even we get the one of the Holy Trinity pieces, either Ren and 6, Crucible of Worlds, or Ramunap Excavator, paired with something like Strip Mine, so something super powerful like that. But I'm going to try and talk through my thought process, but you're going to see me drafting lands pretty highly, biasing myself towards Jund, and really only taking, there's a handful of cards. I'd say there's probably like 20, 30, 40 cards that are better than the fetches and the duels that are fetchable. But then beyond that, you're going to see me valuing my mana base really highly. Well, I mean, I'm gonna bias against blue. I'm gonna bias against busted stuff or broken stuff, but I'm not gonna bias myself against Black Lotus here for sure. Definitely gonna be taking Black Lotus. But for example, if Black Lotus weren't here, this actually isn't a great pack for the kind of deck that I like to draft. Hymn to Tourach would be my pick. And I know that a lot of folks would just, Windmill Slam Treachery or Through the Breach is a fun, busted thing to do. I don't really like the 2-card combo-y style decks like Through the Breach Emrakul or Sneak Attack Emrakul, or I really don't like the Kiki Jiki Splinter Twin combo decks. So if those pieces come up, you'll definitely see me not taking those. And I want to say that I don't think there are no wrong ways to eat this Reese's. I think there are a number of viable routes through a cube pack that are defensible. So, I think it's important to try and keep an open mind with cube. And I'm just here to throw out a strategy that definitely works for me, that I enjoy, that I think is not widely utilized. So again, we're not seeing a pack that's incredibly good for my style of deck. Gonti is probably the best of the bunch here. Solemn is interesting, but it's a little low. It does a similar thing as Gonti, except Solemn is like ramping you, and you don't get the card until it dies. And this deck doesn't really care about ramp a lot of the time. Like, it doesn't. Signets aren't generally what it wants unless you start to get a lot of really powerful CMC cards. What's really important is getting like a jump from 0 to 2 or 1 to 3. 3 is where you start to get the goodies. Hopefully we'll see 3 mana Daretti, which is I think probably the most underrated card in the cube right now, as I have that as super, super powerful. But a lot of the 3 mana planeswalkers, Daretti, Oko obviously, Dak, a lot of those are really powerful. This pack seems a little weak sauce to me. Batterskull, Grave Titan. Leovold goes around sometimes, and that's a card that, if we've got ways to splash blue, is not a card that I'm mad about seeing in my deck at all. So we're seeing a lot of lands, finally, that we could potentially take, but none of them are fetchable. So these what fast lands, I guess is what they're called, they're fine, but they aren't great. And the creature lands I do think are quite strong, but a green-white one is not one that I'm going to prioritize here. I'm going to take Caryatid. I know I was just talking about how I don't really like Signets, but Caryatid can block, and this taps for any color of mana and can't be interacted with. So we're generally going to find ourselves base green, so I'm going to take the Caryatid here. Vivien is fine as well, but if this were Nissa, I would slam it, because I think Nissa is one of the most powerful cards in the cube. Non-power level, that is. Or non-power 9, I should say, but I don't think Vivien's where I'm going to be at in this pack. I'm going to take the Caryatid. Okay, well now this is exciting, because we're seeing one of the most fun or most powerful pieces to this sort of Jund value derpy deck, and that's Skull Clamp. So with Skull Clamp, allows you to do is have a lot of little synergies all around your deck. Your deck really does end up, or it can skew with a lot of token makers. You think about Duretti, sometimes you get Lingering Souls, some of the Garriks, Bitter Blossom, all that stuff just makes Skull Clamp insane. So getting it early is really nice, because a lot of the times when I draft this deck, I find myself going, well, I hope we open Skull Clamp, or hope we get past Skull Clamp. And this is a card that I think that isn't really on a lot of folks' radars. Like this generally, maybe if you're a green ramp deck, you put it in as some sort of flood insurance to slap on your mana dorks once they've done their job. But once they've done their job in those decks, hopefully you've won. And similarly with like a white aggro deck, it could be an insurance policy, but you'd really hope to just like have your opponent be dead instead. Okay, so now our options are, I mean, we've got a number of cards we could play. Battlesphere is a little high for the curve. Smokestack is a really powerful card, again, that goes with the token makers, but I generally really like to start this out of the board rather than in the main deck. I have main decked it before, but I would prefer to start it out of the board. Obviously, if you get any of the, the land recursion spells we talked about before, that Holy Trinity, Wrenn and 6, Crucible of Worlds, etc., if you can get that, then that pairs very well with the Smokestack, as well as all those token makers we talked about. I'm low on the swords in general. My podcast partner has shown me the light, though, about how the swords are still quite relevant in Cube. But I'm just going to grab the Oracle here. Oracle has a lot of really great fetch land synergy. So I value that free shuffle effect that it gives you. And again, pairs really nicely with the aforementioned Holy Trinity, as like, if you got a fetch land in your graveyard, you can just play that, crack it, play it, crack it again. Those are your 2 lands for the turn. Okay, so not a lot of options here. I'm going to grab Hero's Downfall. And just sort of a note, like, if we had taken Treachery, I mean, obviously, I guess Treachery was in the Black Lotus pack, but, if blue is contested. And some drafts it's not, but most drafts I find that it is, and that it's hard to stake your claim in a blue deck. It's hard to stake your claim in the fast mana deck. People know, it's not like drafting Vintage Cube a few years ago. People know that mana rocks are good, and so they're snapping them up appropriately. And so you have to find other strategies that are going to be open, and that's why I really like this style of deck. So I'll take Hero's Downfall here. The sort of targeted removal, the one-time, one-for-one removal is not what you want in these decks. You really want your cards to all do something that's going to give you an edge. Like, so all those tiny edges add up. I think for me here, it's between Signet and Hierarch, and I'm going to grab Hierarch. It's going to, looking like we're base green. It's going to tap for multiple colors of mana. Signet is fine, but I think I'd rather have the body. Again, it can get clamped too, so just tiny little synergies. So something like Ultimate Price is not something I value. But what I want to say is that, I do want to have a way, if I'm in black, I want to have one of the Hero's Downfall, the Murderous Rider, something like that to deal with Planeswalkers. Okay, great. Finally. Now, this is a tough pick, because when you've got something like Black Lotus, Eternal Witness is really powerful. But we are seeing our first fetch land here, and we've already got 6 playables, and we have not taken any lands yet. So I am going to grab Heath here over Eternal Witness. Witness and Regrowth, I think when you have stuff like Black Lotus, like Recall, like Time Walk, that all gets a lot better. Those are the kinds of little synergies you want to be looking for, but I'm going to grab the Windswept Heath here over the Witness, and hope that doesn't send like a strong signal to anyone. So we see our first pack come back, and as it was a bunch of Junkers, it is still now a bunch of Junkers. I'll take the sword for the sideboard. Fauna Shaman and tutor effects in general in these decks aren't great. I mean, if you've got Strip Mine Crucible of Worlds, then yeah, I'm going to be running Vampiric Tutors and Imperial Seals. But otherwise, those effects, and obviously I'm never cutting Demonic Tutor, but you're not often looking for specific things. You are, because your deck is so redundant and toolboxy in a way, you don't really need to go, oh, if I need to have these 2 cards together. You generally have all of your cards doing similar things or working towards the same goal in a way that doesn't really require you to like tutor up a specific creature like Fauna Shaman does. Take Batterskull. Pernicious Deed is generally very bad in Cube in general. Like, it's just really hard to imagine decks that it doesn't wreck your own permanence. So I generally don't like Pernicious Deed unless I'm a super heavy Planeswalker deck. Really awesome to see Stirring Wildwood come around here. So it just looks like maybe not a lot of lands were opened in the pack. There was a blue-white fast land in this pack as well, but Seeing all three of these come around is pretty nice. So I will take Wildwood. I know we don't have white yet, but the creature lands are good. And speaking of cards that are value, that are 2-for-1s, Reclamation Sage and effects like this, creatures that come into play and do something like blow up. More specifically, I much prefer the things that blow up artifacts and enchantments than the things that blow up creatures. Like, I'll take one of those, like a Shriekmaw or Bone Shredder effect, but a Rec Sage, a Knight of I want to say Knight of the Reliquary, but the other one, the one green white that has like the 3 modes, gain 4 or whatever. That's a good card for these kinds of decks. I'll take Nighthawk for the board. It's nice to have and a sword as well. It's great. 2 swords and Bonfire. So one of the other great things about this deck is that because your mana base is going to be so good, because you're going to value fetch lands and fetchable lands so highly, what happens is that you have access to a number of really powerful sideboard options. Now, your sideboard will be small, but you will have a lot of options against the various decks that you play against. Like if you need life gain, so you bring in Batterskull and Nighthawk. You're playing against Walkers, or you're playing against Go Wide. Well, then Bonfire is good, or specific color hosing swords like these is all a really, really good options to have. Now, we're not in red yet, but Seasoned Pyromancer and Chandra are both really strong. But I'm not going to dive into red cards just yet, especially with our fixing being where it's at. We could definitely end up in a more Abzan-y life, which would make sense with Heath and Wildwood. Also want to think about like what Lotus lets us do. And a turn 1 Planeswalker is kind of nice. We've already got Skull Clamp for the tokens, so I think that's where I'm going to be at. None of these, if any of these lands were fetchable, I would take them. Like if this was a green-blue, if this was Breeding Pool or Tropical Island, I would snap it up. But because it's not, I'm going to not value those lands as highly. I'm going to take Garruk here. It's a pretty upsetting first pick. Now, speaking of Tropical Island, I would definitely take this here. We are not blue, and it's not like we have a fetch land that this is going to turn on. Like, let's say we had the white-blue fetch land. Well, then taking this means that turns it into a white-green duel, which is something that is probably going to be valuable for us. What I am going to take is Tireless Tracker. I refer to this on my stream a lot as a 3-mana Planeswalker, and I really and truly believe that to be true. It's quite strong. This is another card that has fetch land synergy, so any future fetch lands we get are going to be really happy with this. So there's this like very strong land sub-theme to this deck. So I'm going to take Tracker over Tropical Island. This can wheel a lot of the time, but I don't really want to risk it for a card like Trop at the moment. If this was a fetch land, I would risk it, which sort of seems, I think, maybe a little bit backwards because it works so well with a fetch land, but the fetch lands are really so much a crux of this style of deck, but I don't think Trop is what we need to take here. So speaking of a card that's really good with fetch lands, because you get shuffle effects, also a card that's good with Oracle, Sylvan Library is pretty sweet. There's also a Tundra, which is fetchable by Heath. There's also a Godless Shrine, which is fetchable by Heath. So I think I am going to take Shrine here to turn my Heath into a black-green dual land at the moment. Now, we're not anything other than green, so I think there's an argument out there to go like, well, you could just be a green ramp deck with Hoof. I could. It's not a deck that I want to draft right now, and I think Cube affords you that sort of flexibility or that sort of ownership over your draft if you're drafting a deck that our deck doesn't have a sort of streamlined game plan like a ramp into a Hoof deck. So Hoof is like a high risk, high reward pick in my opinion, whereas Godless Shrine is has a not a high ceiling, but a high floor as to how it's gonna work in our deck. Now we've got a few really good cards for this deck, namely Bitter Blossom, Courser of Kruphix, and Ophiomancer. I believe Ophiomancer is very likely to wheel because people do not value this card. And as we already have Oracle, I think Courser gets a little less good, though it is a nice turn 1 play with Lotus. It's tough. My consideration here is Curve. Then I'm going to take Bitter Blossom. We've also already got the Skull Clamp, so Bitter Blossom is very, very good for us. And I do believe that Ophiomancer could wheel. Now, I could take Courser and be like, well, I'll take the green card, and then one of the 2 black cards will wheel, and it's probably going to be Ophiomancer. But that's 2 more 3-drops, and I'm not thrilled about that. So I'm going to take Bitter Blossom here and be on the lookout for that Ophiomancer coming around. Okay, so here, Murderous Rider, as I was talking about, this is a kind of effect that I want. But I already have Hero's Downfall. I already have an instant speed way to blow up a Planeswalker. to kill a creature. You do want some, some interaction here in these decks, or some just straight up removal like that. But we've already got the effect, so I don't think we need it. Also, Questing Beast is a strong card. It's another 4-drop when you've already got 3 of them, so really considering curve a lot in this style of deck. And I do think, while I'm not crazy about the fast lands, this is, both of our main colors as it appears to be at the moment, so Blooming Marsh, get in. So here we see a Mesmeric Fiend and a Coercive Portal, and again, this is going to come down to curve considerations for me. And another sub-theme to this deck that we haven't encountered yet, but certainly could end up bearing out as the draft progresses, which is hand disruption. So cards like Thoughtseize, Inquisition of Kozilek, Mesmeric Fiend, Kitesail Freebooter, Tide Hollow Sculler, all of those cheap ways to mess with your opponent's game plan are quite powerful and actually get better the more you have, right? The more redundancy you have of those pieces, the more likely you are to see them in your opening hand, and the more often your deck is going to be able to deploy them on time. So I'm going to grab Mesmeric Fiend. I recognize the Portal is very good. We're also in a color where we could just get Phyrexian Arena, which is the same effect as Coercive Portal, but a mana cheaper. And now we've got basically Arbor Elf versus Chupacabra. Again, as I talked about, I don't love loading up on these effects. And while Ravenous Chupacabra is the best of the bunch, it's not so much better than the Shriekmaw, than the Bone Shredder Necrotals of the world, that I want to take it here. Again, I'm thinking curve considerations here. I'm going to take Arbor Elf. Again, it's going to help us go from 1 to 3 or get from 1 to 3 to 4. And then we've got Skull Clamp already to cash it in for some fresh cards once we're done with it. So I'm going to take the Elf here. All right, Flooded Strand that is. So Flooded Strand already finds Godless Shrine. We've already got Tracker and Oracle that care about the fetch land here. Damnation, Den Protector, good cards. Damnation would probably be my pick if Den Protector weren't here. When we get cards like Damnation, it makes things like Mesmeric Fiend and Freebooter worse, in my opinion, so I don't like to have those sort of non-Bowie things in my deck, so I would just consider that if we were to take Damnation here, but Flooded Strand feels like a pretty strong pickup. And I was actually hoping this would wheel because I want to take it. Kaya is a fantastic sideboard card in this cube. I really like having access to something like Kaya or Scavenging Ooze. Graveyard Hate is very powerful against 2 decks in particular, and that's Reanimator and Storm, and those are 2 powerful decks in the format. So being able to snag stuff out of your opponent's graveyard, I think, is very, very strong, and I'm happy to have Kaya out of the sideboard here. Here we've got nothing really that I imagine we would play. Maybe Angel of Invention the most. Sword of Light and Shadow is very, very weak, and I don't even think siding it in against black-white decks is quite good. I don't imagine we'd play it, but Angel has potential, I think, with the token making. And now we've got Sylvan Library on the wheel, which is great. Plaguecrafter is okay against some creature light decks. I've sided this in against, Tinker Blightsteel, Tinker Inkwell, that sort of thing, where you feel like your opponent's just going for the one big fatty and you can snag it pretty early. And Tasker is a card that I don't really like very much. I just never end up running that card. It's a little clunky, and did call the Ophiomancer wheel, and it just generally is underrated by most folks. And that's fine. I've got the best card for it, which is Skull Clamp. Or I guess the other best card is Recurring Nightmare. Wall of Omens versus Huntmaster of the Fells. I guess we actually have nothing red so far, so I'll take the Wall for the board and Swift Spear. So we're in a really, really good spot. We'd like some more lands. We'd like to see one of the Holy Trinity pieces. I mean, we've only got the 2 fetches right now. But the thing about, and we're not really set up for it yet. We're really just Golgari Rock right now. But speaking of Golgari Rock, we do see a Mox Emerald, which is nice. It's unfortunate that we have to pass Strip Mine for it, because Strip Mine is just very good in our deck and makes a lot of unlocks some future picks. Considering we haven't seen Crucible Excavator or Renin 6 yet, I would imagine we will see one of them, unless we're at a table of folks that are valuing those cards as highly as I do. Cards that can wheel for us, Avacyn's Pilgrim, Assassin's Trophy. I'd be happy with either of those. We're probably going to have too low of a creature count for Vivian. And we could splash Thief of Sanity, though that's never going to wheel. Shambling Vent is another card that could wheel, and I'd be happy with it. So, I'm probably playing Batterskull at this point, just for playable count purposes. But yeah, Mox Emerald is great. But what I was going to say is, I just wanted to talk a little bit about, like, why fetch lands is great, and just like lands going to the graveyard in general, because it turns on that Holy Trinity. Like if you think about things like Faithless Looting or Deck, or anything that lets you turn through your library, Seasoned Pyromancer, anything that lets you get lands in your graveyard sort of naturally is also very good with those cards. You don't have to have exactly fetch lands or exactly strip mine. There's just a lot of like inherent little synergies that add up. Wow, this is a very, very powerful pack. Library, Wrenn and 6, and Nissa Who Shakes the World. This is very, very close. This may be, so it's Wrenn and 6 is out of contention here, as one, we don't have red fixing, and two, we only have 2 fetch lands. So it's between Library and Nissa, and I honestly want to take Nissa here. So if Library's not in our opener, no, Library, I'm talking crazy. I just talk myself off the ledge here. Library's insane. We have a lot of fast mana to sort of like keep up with it, in the sense of like, you want to be able to, what Library wants you to do is play off curve, basically, because you're using your land drop to draw cards. But what things like Hierarch, Elf, Mox, Black Lotus let us do is catch back up. So I am going to take Library here. Hopefully we can wheel maybe Wall of Roots if the other green player snaps up Nissa, but I'm going to take Library there. Oh, wow. Dak Faden, double off color. That is unfortunate for us. I mean, I have ways to fix for blue with Flooded Strand, and I guess Hierarch and Caryatid, but it's a tough sell. It's so powerful, though, that I think it's worth taking over Elves and Druid and just trying to make it work. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Like I said, we've got Caryatid, we've got Hierarch, we've got Strand, and we can just jam an island in there, and then we just got to find some ways to fetch up red sources. I think Dak is worth it here. You're worth it, Dak. Thinhorn Elves also totally reasonable, but I would like to take a little bit of spice here for the YouTubes. Speaking of, now we see 3 fetchable duels after a draft pretty dry of those kinds of cards. Our fetches are Windswept Heath and Flooded Strand, so green-white and blue-white. Pretty sure I should just take Taiga here. I guess it's Taiga versus Watery Grave. Now, Taiga could wheel. That's the only thing I'm considering here, is that it perhaps is better to take Watery Grave and then maybe Taiga wheels. Because it's not often that people end up in red-green. Now, we did just ship a Wrenn and 6, so someone might grab that, but I think I like Watery Grave here just a slight bit better. And I'm going to roll the dice here on the Taiga. Wow, Crucible here too. Badlands and Overgrown Tomb. Now this is another black-green duel. So we're taking one of these 2 lands, and I think it's probably, well, Badlands isn't fetchable. Overgrown Tomb is. I'm gonna take the Badlands just to keep helping us fix for Dak here, and maybe we get another fetch land. Probably crazy. Whoever got that strip mine is gonna be happy with the Wrenn and 6 and the Crucible coming around. We'll take Badlands here. Okay, and now we've got Temple Garden, which doesn't do much, but we do have a lot of white fixing, and now we've got Clamp and Batterskull. Right, we've got Windswept Heath, Wildwood, Godless Shrine. I think I'm just going to take Stoneforge. I like all of these. I like both of these creature lands, though red is not our base color, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I like Temple Garden, but it wouldn't be crazy if one of those 3 lands wheeled. But I think Stoneforge is pretty decent here. Also turns on our sideboard swords as well. All right, I'm going to take Pulse over Savannah. Another just catch-all answer. I value this card pretty highly when I can cast it in black-green. And Wasteland, Strip Mine, Crucible, Wrenn and 6, all in the last pack. What a shame. So this is between, I guess, Revoker and Garrick. Garrick seems castable and strong here. Plop that right in the 5-drop slot. A couple cards that can get us to it on turn 4. Actually, can have Lotus, Mox, land, and have it on turn 1 even. So here we see Shambling Event and Assassin's Trophy coming around. We're at 19 playables. I think Trophy's probably worth it here. Oh my god. Can we just get the world here? Nissa Who Shakes the World, and can we just wheel everything? Can we wheel Taiga, wheel Overgrown Tomb? Yeah, Nissa, Snap, get in. I mean, again, I love Ren and 6, but can't cast it here. All right, Incubation Druid over the elf was in this pack, but Incubation Druid is fine. Oof, so close. Got Bayou, not Taiga. Got Bayou. That's fine. That does open up a spot for us. Wow. No respect. No respect, I tell ya. Can we still jam this deck here? I think we can. I think we can. We'll run a mountain. We don't even need to run an island, I don't think, because of Watery Grave. Ooh, Elder. Actually, Elder lets us just go, all right, let's run an island and a mountain. I'm into it. And that's 23, which is pretty good. Not a bad draft. Not a great draft, but not a bad draft by any stretch. We got quite a bit of power. And we're going to be doing a little bit of spice here, so hopefully that works out for us. So we'll take a second to build this mana base. I do think I want one of each now that we have the Elder in. And that's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green. I'm going to need more than that. I'm going to need more than that. All right, maybe no planes then. Oh, it's 7 with at Mox. No planes. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 white sources. Plus Hierarch and Caryatid. So maybe like that. But I do think I want 1 mountain, 1 island. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 black sources seems good. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, and we'll see you for the rounds. All right, here we are for round number 1. We're on the draw. We've got library and an island. I think we got to trust in our deck here a little bit and keep. Library's going to give us some draws. Hopefully we can find a black source for turn 2 to play Bitter Blossom. Or white source to play Stoneforge. So we'll draw on their turn. Oh, Mox is nice. Because now we just get to go land Mox Rexage, and then we'll still get to draw next turn. All right, 1, 2. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Still sipping on my morning coffee here. All right, untap black source is great. Or draw. Yeah, I think land Bitter Blossom. Or actually, we just land Ophiamancer. More mana efficient. And probably attack with the Rexage. This is 3 for indestructible, yeah? Yeah. Opponent, no good attacks because we've got our snake. So we'll start with a draw. Probably just Wildwood. think Bitter Blossom's better than Caryatid here. Especially in case they have a Wrath. I don't think they do if they're playing Kythian, but a card like Signet does make that a little sketchier to me. Now, we won't attack as they've got indestructible mana available. Council's Judgment. Bitter Blossom? Yeah, okay. Down she goes. I'm going to take the risk here of not being able to play Nissa, I think, and draw. But no risk necessary. Let's go plus on the forest. Attack all? Not with Ophiomancer. And then we'll cast Caryatid. We could cast Library, actually, so that we could get Library back online next turn. Library gets Library, yeah. Our deck is firing on all cylinders right now while our opponent is doing nothing, so that feels pretty good. All right. So not seeing a ton. Council Judgment, Signet, and Kythian. But those are all white cards. I do think I'm going to get a little less cute with Dak, especially against White Weenie. So that means cutting mountain, cutting island, and then probably adding plains and a swamp, perhaps. What are we bringing in? Bring in Nighthawk too, yeah. So I like Nighthawk, I like Sword, I like Wall. Anything I don't like? It makes Elder a little worse. What did I only cut Dak? Because I only cut Dak. So I gotta find one more cut here. Maybe Druid. 2 mana 0/2. Not great. And doesn't actually fix. Yeah, let's try that, I think. Sounds good. Okay. This can find, what, Bayou, right? Yeah. Let's keep her. Mono 3 drops. Scalding Tarn, huh? Wow. All right, well, we're just going to chill, actually. I don't feel like any of these things are super powerful to do on turn 1. Like Ophiomancer, but that gets outclassed kind of quickly. I'd rather use it as an explosive, like, sword and equip kind of turn, or in case we draw something like Nissa or Garruk or Batterskull. So opponent didn't crack their fetch land, which almost certainly means their hand is land light. That's my guess. Because that's what you're going to see me do, is not crack this here. Island Mountain is not what I expected to see after game 1. All right, I'm probably going to Lotus blow up this Signet here with the Rex Sage. Oh, and we get to carry added. That's nice. All right, so Bayou. Lotus. Rexage. Yes. Carry added. Go ahead. Natty Jeskai. Wall of Omens, sure. Kithian was very much a red herring, it seems like. Bomat Courier. Sure. Okie dokie. I think let's get Nighthawk down. Pass. Wasteland. That's scary. Not blowing up land this turn, it looks like. Playing Soulfire Grandmaster. Alright, I wonder if that means they've got Time Walk. Or Time Warp. Alright, another Swamp. Attack with Nighthawk and play Ophiomancer. I mean, they are a ways away from... I could also just guarantee that we get to equip Sword next turn, but I really prefer to have this as a surprise. So, considering they committed a creature to the board last turn, that makes me feel like they don't have a sweeper. So I feel okay extending Ophiomancer into this. Opponent seems to be deep in the tank here. Another card that I was not expecting to see. Pyretic Ritual, okay. Nahiri. Sure. An Exile Nighthawk? Yeah. Okay. And Wasteland my Bayou. It's sad, but it's true. far away from casting this, but we'll just downfall in Nahiri. And pass. Because I can attack with the snake. Because I have blocks on. I can trade Rex Sage for Grandmaster or put Ophiomancer in front of the Courier. Important to note that I feel much safer with this Caryatid being what it is rather than it being a Signet that's vulnerable. Kythian, sure. I think it's time to drop the sword here. No attacks. What's all this about? Oh, do you have repeal and you want to bounce the snake? That's what that makes me feel like. Uh-huh. All right, I'm not the repeal thing weirded me out. I don't know if that's what it is, but that's my read. I'd rather start getting some value here from the tracker. Did I have the read or what? Did I have the read or what? So they repeal the wall. Fine. Sure. We draw land, we play Nissa. If we don't, we crack Clue and equip Sword. Just put it on Rex Age. So I could put it on the snake. I think the snake is a much better blocker. I'm gonna cash in Bomat Courier here. And if they happen to like have a way to kill it, well, I guess it's the same thing of like I'd have to move that. It was probably better to put it on the snake. Well, after all is said and done here, it does look like white is the opponent's base color. I guess I don't need to do this. Pre-combat. I can just attack with my Rex Age. See if they take it or animate Mutavault. Looks like they're just taking it. Opponent loses 3, we gain 4. Do this now to try and hit a land. Oh, and it's a whammy. What a treat. Even a Wrath here doesn't do it because we have Nissa now. All right, what do you got that you want to buy back? Burn spell? Balance. That doesn't seem very good. So we're probably sacrificing, what, like Snake Caryatid Rex Age? And then winning, because Tracker has pro white. Sure. Choose 3 creatures you control. Will sacrifice the remaining 3. So I want to keep you, you, and you. Yeah, that did not seem like a very good outcome for our opponent. I mean, I guess what else are they going to do, but... I know I'm going to get the damage as well off the sword trigger, but just kill him now, too. Ooh, Elf with Nissa. Make your own Soul Ring. All right, 1-0. All right, here we are for round 2. Yes, I would like to play first. Sure, I'll take a turn 1 Sylvan Library. That sounds good. Yes. Beautiful. Well, not so beautiful, because I kind of want all those. And maybe I'll actually, I think I'm just going to pay 4. And I'll save Heath. So I'm just going to go probably Blossom Hierarch here. Okay. So I guess I'm just gonna top and draw, play Elf. I could shuffle away the Rex Age. Maybe I'll go. I don't want to pay 4. So I think I'm just going to draw top, clamp, equip, draw, Elf. I'm not going to draw. I guess I'll just play the fetch land here, but not crack it. I know they don't have targets for Rex Age yet, but oh, are you a filthy combo player over there? Oh. Why, yes, I would like Batterskull. Top. I think we're going to shuffle here. Yeah, I don't really care about Lotus right now. And I don't have white. So I'll do this, but I won't pay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doop, 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 doop. Doop, doop. If you counter it, you counter it. If you blow it up, you blow it up. Not much I can do. That is basically my only life gain in the deck. Pestermite? Yeah, so I guess we're just dead here. Oh, no. Wow. That's a treat. That is a real treat. Shield break the Batterskull, sure. But not casting the 2-1. Interesting. Alright, we gotta win soon. Do I want to use Sylvan Library's ability? Yes. Alright, I do not want... I mean, I guess I'm gonna draw them, so top, sure. No shuffle effects left. I think I need to keep up Downfall. Yeah, so let's untap you. Equip. Druid. Attack for 1. Also, if they have burn or any, like, I mean, they're in red, so I assume they have ways to deal direct damage. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay. Blue-red. Bring in sword. Nighthawk. That's a little bit more life gain. I mean, that was a sort of a unique situation where we didn't draw a lot of relevant spells, but did deal ourselves a lot of damage. Didn't see any artifacts from them. I kind of want to cut Dak. Cut Rexage. Bring in this, bring in this. Cut Mountain. Island, add Swamp Forest. Okay. That's keeper. Battle display, huh? Yeah. Go ahead and bring in Batterskull at the end of their turn. Got like Elder Sacrifice here rather than Gonti. It's Ancestral Recall. Force, okay. Play an untapped land so we can protect Batterskull. What did they pitch? Cryptic, wow. Massey. Exarch, okay. Sure. Click Phoenix, dig through time. I guess we're just taking Twin. Honestly, Phoenix is really annoying too. I guess I take Twin and re-equip to Stoneforge this turn. Attack first. Probably Gonti. Four lands. What a waste. And I'm gonna pulse the Elemental. And play Wildwood. Not sure what they can do here. Zealous. Snag Stoneforge to gain 5. Oh, I will definitely trade with Zealous here. So I don't really have the opportunity to like tap out of, to like they can like tap out for dig or whatever to try and find, I guess, like Mountain Kiki if they still have it, or removal for Mesmeric Fiend. But then that means they're gonna have to lose Exarch, I think. It's not quite. Click me. Okay. So we're not going to get comboed this turn, but it could very well happen next turn. But I think if we adapt Druid and animate Wildwood, we'll have enough power where they have to chump Stoneforge. I hope. I mean, I guess that's still not true. Yeah, that is true. Like, even if they have Forked Bolt or whatever, Fire Ice, and they can pick off Mesmeric Fiend, Fairy, but then we'll still have a 3/5 and a 3/4 and a 5/6, and they'll have to block the 5/6. Oh god, maybe I'm screwed here. Maybe I was supposed to do this in response to dig. But now if they pop this, no. We'll see. Oh, that's quite good. I think that's going to make me send Fiend also. Oh, what's this? Tap that. Okay. Alright, I don't need to, because I'll still get to finish it off. So they'll block one of the 3 power creatures, because they have to. Okay, and then we fight Exarch. All right. Very scary deck from the opponent. Looks quite streamlined. It's the only piece of instant speed interaction I have out of the board. But I think that means it's worth bringing in. And like maybe cutting. I mean, I still have, what, Downfall and Trophy. Not a lot. So I think I want to do this. Cut a forest, add the mountain back in. Fingers crossed. How many green is that? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the draw. And then black is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not right. Okay. Do that. Oh god, wait. Why is this 41? Oh, because I didn't cut a spell for this? Shoot. Shoot. Elder? Nope. 41 card special. Whoops. All right. Very slow, but basically hoping for a green or a black source in the top 3 cards of our library, because we have the next turn's draw, then we have the library draw, then the turn after draw. Oh, wow. So we can go boop, boop, draw, druid. I don't think I want to, oh shoot, I was supposed to draw on my upkeep. Wow. Pretty brutal to have not done that. I don't think I'm supposed to tap out here, so I'll just pass and discard. Probably discard, I don't know, sword. Yeah. At least I now have trophy that I can keep up. So I still think I'm just going to play Caryatid. And pass. This turn, we'll drop Nighthawk, or just Bitter Blossom, and then we can keep up both. Because I have a feeling there might be like Force of Will action coming or something. I don't know. Certainly playing the game incredibly conservatively, but I feel like we're far enough ahead that that seems correct to me. Like at this point, how do I lose? Well, I lose if they have combo pieces plus 2 counter spells. So let's just not do that, shall we? Pay 2, boop, boop, boop for Nighthawk. I'm going to adapt. Gives me a lot more options next turn. Okay. Deal. Alright, you can now Zealous, untap a land, and Splinter Twin. Phoenix, sure. This is Cryptic, counter draw, counter tap. Counter draw, sure. Now that Force is gone, I feel less bad about firing off Char here. But I'm not going to tap out a trophy. This is Dig. Oh, Bribery. Sure. Well, what's the best creature in our deck? I'm not sure. Oracle, maybe? Is the best one left? It's one of the great things about drafting a deck like this is like all of your cards don't matter. So your opponent's Bribery isn't scary. What do you like? Yeah, Oracle. So the top is Shieldbreaker, that's fine. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's draw. Carrick. Plus. Tracker. This has no targets left, right? Yeah, so Heath. Always yield. And attack him with the flyers. Actually, I guess I could play Library too. No, I don't need to. We're drawing plenty of cards here. Which is like, I know what they're drawing. Like I I have now all perfect information -1. But until I see them draw 1 to each, 1 to each, 1 to each. Oh boy, that's rough. Okay. So crack you. Get to at least save the tracker here. Oh, tracker and druid survive. Oh, we're fine. We know Char is coming up next. Stoneforge. Go find the Beast Skull. Draw. Plus. They have Char. Hierarch. Probably just do this now. And just dangle the Lotus. There's no reason to play Batterskull this turn. Actually, there's no reason not to. We know they're drawing Char. Yeah, there's no reason not to. Do that. That should be game. Yeah, wow. Got there. Whew. To the finals. All right, here we are for the finals on the draw with our library-themed deck. Library Tribal here. We'll keep... Probably draw, and then we'll Mesmeric Fiend next turn. Uh-oh. Oh, interesting. Oh boy. Entomb, Force, Gifts, Twist, Price. Well, I'm sort of forced to take Ultimate Price here because... Well, I guess I'm not. Like, if I take something else... No, because even if I don't, they still get to Entomb this turn. So yeah, I'm sort of forced to take Price here. Because if I don't, they'll just use it anyway. They didn't Entomb. That's kind of interesting. They might just twist us here, or Gifts. Looks like we're just getting twisted for 3. Okay. Library, Wildwood, Mountain down. It's a bummer. Oracle's nice. I think I want to save Rexage for something like Animate Dead or Necromancy. So I think I'm just going to go Shrine. No. And attack. So now they want to entomb. Consecrated Sphinx. All right. They get to draw, which is not good, but we do get to kill that, which is good. And they can't force it. I should upkeep stop. So I guess if they have another reanimate spell, then they can force protect. Okay. Gonti's nice. Now we're going to get gifts here. Reanimator is a very powerful deck in this cube. It does look like our opponent has a fairly decent version of it. Not seeing any tutors yet other than Entomb. Looks like they're going for the full 4 here, rather than just like Unburial Rites, something. I mean, they don't have the white mana yet. They might search up for it. All right, Grave Titan, Karn, Bribery, Living Death. Well, like I said, we don't really have good things for them to Bribery for, so we can definitely give them Bribery. I can't give them Grave Titan. I can't give them Living Death, so I think we just put Grave Titan and Living Death in their yard, and Bribery and Karn in their hand. I guess I can Bribery for Gonti, and then we get a shuffle, so that's kind of a bummer, but I mean, our most expensive stuff is 5 CMC, and all 3 of them are non-creatures. It's Nissa, Garruk, and Batterskull. Yeah, so they're giving us Gonti here. Or sorry, they're taking our Gonti. But that's much better than casting Grave Titan, I think. I guess I have Hero's Downfall, so maybe it was better to just give him Grave Titan. Do I get to see the 4 things that they look at because of Oracle? I should, right? Maybe not. I don't like that they have a hard decision here. Damn, and now they've left us with a land. Real weak sauce. Okay. Garrick. Sure. I guess I'll just pulse that. I guess if I wait... No, that's fine. I can pulse it. And they can force if they want. And then I can upkeep downfall. Yeah. So that way we got pulse as a 2-for-1. Okay. So Karn and an unknown for the opponent, or 2 unknowns now. Trophy can take care of Karn, but they're accruing a lot of value and digging themselves towards being able to reanimate some stuff. It might have been right just to give him Grave Titan and not let them bribery away Arganti. They just don't even want to play Karn, huh? Interesting. I will take it. I guess I should F6. Looter, yeah. Oof, that's the most brutal right there. Pitched Ancient Tomb. I have Caracas. Bounce my Gonti, please. All right, Flooded Strand. Not shuffling away Nissa, thank you. One of the ways that we can win this game. Okay. Actually, does this have targets left? No. It's just these two, right? Yeah. I think this has no targets. I don't think there's a plains in the deck. Yeah. Okay, good to know. We can turn that one into a 3/3 at no cost. All right, Verdant Catacombs. Fetch. C, okay. And finally Karn. Thran Dynamo. And now Karn. Plus Construct. Okay. So I'm going to play Mox. We're never getting back to library. Attack Karn, attack Karn. I don't really want to waste the trophy on it. If they want to make a 4/4, they're more than welcome to. Shelldock Isle. That's something worth trophying, I'd say. That's something worth trophying. See if they just cash Karn in here for a 4/4. They might plus so they can loot. No, wow. I think this is very good for us. So we obviously have to double chump here. This is not a May, right? Okay. So I guess we're just single chumping, or we can just trade with Gonti. I don't think I can go that low. Haven't seen Batterskull yet. Okay, I think we're just chumping the construct here. Or chump, probably. Yeah. And then we'll trophy they're forced to loot here. Trophy the Shelldock. All right. Oh, whoops. Feomancer. Make Forest a 3/3. Attack for 1 in the air. Pass. Night's Whisper, wow. Rights? No. Sphinx's Seal. Flying First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, Protection from Red and Green. Okay. So now it feels like we're just trying to deck them. All right, let's Elder. Crack. Sure. Plus. Pass. This is search for any number of forests, right? So ultimate doesn't do much for us here. Batterskull would be, actually wouldn't really do much with Sphinx. Garrick to fight Looter would be nice. This game is pretty crazy. Opponent doesn't have anything super impressive to reanimate that we've seen. Like Grave Titan, Sphinx, and Sphinx are not the most crazy. They're duressing us. That's their last card. Oh, they said oops, thought it had trample. They thought their Sphinx had trample. It's still worth it to try and gain some life, I would say. Okay, boop. Boop. Let's fight the Looter. Yeah. Oh, they're off it. Okay. Wow. Whew. Well, let's go ahead and snip this whole thing because we basically saw their whole deck. Hold on. Let's get, yeah, Cloudscape and Unknown. Okay. I keep screwing this up. There we go. Okay. So, blue-black Reanimator. Definitely want to bring in Kaya. I guess that's it. Anything seem particularly bad? Dax still seems good to me. Feels like we probably should bring in a Plains. I'm going to do that. And then still got to make a cut. No 41 card special here, please. Force, both, oh no, Force of Negation. Yes, Sphinx. Mind Twist is annoying. Could like cut Library on the draw, maybe. Yeah, let's do that. So blue-black is going to have a hard time dealing with Library, but... Okay. So turn one, Caryatid. Hopefully they don't have Duress for our Kaya. Looks like opponent's deciding whether or not they need to mulligan. or they're just AFK. All right, opponent keeping. I will keep as well. Hope for no duress. Uh-oh. Looks like we might be getting rest here. No. Okay. Oh, wow. Just trying to think about if I should hierarch clamp here just to get it onto the battlefield. I kind of think I want to do that now. All right, so let's go Bayou, Mox, hierarch, clamp. This still lets us Kaya next turn. Ancient Tomb. Twist for 2. Oh, Spellseeker. Spellseeker for Mind Twist is pretty good. Oh, just revealed Inquisition of Kozilek. Okay. Yeah, that's actually great. So let's get Kaya down. They can take one of our mana dorks. Plus pass. Liliana. Okay. So we draw a white source, we can kill Lily. Oh, wow. Great. All right, so we just... yeah, I guess might as well. Yeah. And Elf. Bitter Blossom. I guess this means I'm going to lose both of my cards. I think that's okay. If they plus... If they plus Animate Dead, we're in trouble. Inquisition, they take Caryatid, and they plus get rid of Gonti. Dealt yourself a lot of damage there, my friend. Are you not plussing? You're going to let me cast Gonti? That's wild. I am thrilled. Thrilled, I say. Gifts, Karn, Dynamo. I guess Karn is the best for me. And pass. Looter, sure. That's good news for me. Shelldock Isle, okay. Attack Lily, attack Lily. Lily down. Let's get Karn down. Do we see any sort of like repeal effect from them? No. Plus, yeah. Could just -2. I think plus is better. It lets us hit lands. And should I draw? Probably. Caracas. You want to bounce my Gonti? Next turn, I'm going to get Garrick, fight Spellseeker. Oh, bribery. Yeah. Again, like, especially now that Gonti's out. So Oracle, I think, is our best target now. Oh, Rex Sage, the Clamp. The Bitter Blossom. Sure, that makes sense. So now, I guess let's try and land Nissa. Dupe. Dupe. I guess we're just plus play Druid? I guess we'll just play Druid. Attack with Fairy and Gonti. Leaving the Bayou vulnerable is bad, but should be okay. All right, so plus. You are close to dead from Kai also with 6 cards exiled. I'm just gonna make a Karnstruct here. Also, I don't need to like help them get closer to unlocking Shelldock next turn. Cloudskate, bouncing Kaya. Yeah, all right. All right, all right, all right. Wow, tapping Tomb. Twist for 2, sure. I think that's GG's. Not to call an early GG here or anything, but I think that's GG's. So let's minus to get Garrick. Let's play Garrick. Or I guess we could. I guess we can Oracle first, because I can still cast. I can still cast Garrick. Oracle first. Oh, all right, we got there. Woo! So I'd say, we never played against any busted decks. I think our round 2 opponent probably had the best deck of the bunch with the redundancy of their twin combo deck, but our instant speed interaction and certainly Library of Alexandria got us there in all those matches. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Again, please click the subscribe button, click the thumbs up button, and leave a comment in the comment section, and we'll see you next time.